I just want y'all to find love, man. Like it's mad easy bet, but at the same time, though, like it's not easy at all. It's weird like that. But you just gotta be straight up with them, You gotta hit them with the business. Just slide up on that girl or boy of your dreams. You look them right in the eye, and you just gotta say, all right, hold up.
If I called you, girl, would you pick your phone up? I just wanna be the one to talk to you and tell you that the pain you feel is only temporary. I understand why you're feeling wary. When you're with me, there is no worry. Let's take our time, girl, no hurry. Yeah. I just wanna be the one that you could chill with. Maybe we could have some fun. Yeah, we could care it. I just wanna be the one that you could chill with. Maybe we could have some fun. Yeah, we could care it. I know it seems unreal to you that someone could love you like I do. But baby, you're the one for me. I didn't think that I could ever be so in love, it's hard to breathe. But all of me is guaranteed. And even when the chips are down, I'm never gonna let you frown. I'm never gonna let you frown. Or even when the chips are down, I just want to be the one. I just wanna be the one that you could chill with. Maybe we could have some fun. Yeah, we could care it. I just wanna be the one that you could chill with. Maybe we could have some fun. Yeah, we could care it. I just wanna be the one that you could chill with. Maybe we could have some fun. Yeah, we could care it. I just wanna be the one that you could chill with. Maybe we could have some fun. Yeah, we could care it. Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face?
Well, good morning. It's Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well. It is middle of the week, hump day. What's up? Let me tell you something, Inexpensive Games. I've got a story today that is just unbelievable. It is. It's just unbelievable. And how I got to this story is a tale within itself. And I cannot wait to tell you guys about this story that involves Craigslist, of all things. It's a Craigslist story. And who doesn't love a really good Craigslist story? So, what do you say? We just get right into it, right? Let's just get right into it. So we need to go. Oh, and real quick, I guess we got to down to do the thing, right? Remember, guys, subscribe if you like, little notifications, and hit that like button. It helps with the algorithms, I guess. That's what they say. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to understand all the algorithms, but whatever. So let's get into the things. Right off the bat, when people ask me why I drink so much coffee, it's because my body doesn't produce its own caffeine, so I have to take in a supplement. right? Everybody's on supplements these days, seems like, and I'm no different. Mine just happens to be caffeine. Now, so let me start how I got into this rabbit hole. So yesterday, I had to go into the office and work, and I had zero. I mean, absolutely, positively zero. I had no stories. I had nothing, right? And I know there's a lot of things that are going on out there right now. There's the whole, uh, and by the way, if you didn't catch the now recording live stream from, I believe it was Monday evening. I believe that's when it was. Yeah, Monday evening. You really should go check that out. They wound up with Mudahar, Keemstar, Nicholas Diorio, Brianna Wu, uh, um, one of our community favorites, Reese, was all in. It's a really interesting stream, and it all centers in around Mudahar's video about, of course, Keffels. So if you haven't seen that, I do recommend, not right at this second, but maybe hopefully sometime today, go check it out. But anyway, I'm not talking about all that. I'm not. Um, I think there's plenty of other people that are talking about it that are far more knowledgeable about the history and the ins and the outs and the wherefores and I's dotting, T's crossing, and all that stuff. I'm not that person, and that's not what I don't have enough time for my little morning streams to do that kind of stuff. But anyway, so yesterday, back to my story. So yesterday, in between phone calls and meetings and replying to emails and trouble tickets and this, that, whatever else, I was perusing the YouTubes, and it was on the YouTube Shorts on my phone. And so this short came up, right? And you can see the text says, "I successfully sued my sperm donor, and now I get 40% of his paycheck." So let's watch this short.
I successfully sued my sperm donor, and now I get 40% of his paycheck.
I'm a sperm donor, and yes, I've been court ordered to pay roughly 40% of my paycheck to this random woman and her child. The thing is, when I was 18, 19 years old, I was in the Marines, short on cash, and I thought it would be a good idea to donate some sperm for some easy money. I made a total of $150, and it came back to bite me because now I'm paying this woman thousands of dollars a month for a child I had no part in making or wanting. I did sign an agreement at the time stating that I would not be held liable for anything that happens to the sperm after I donated it, but I guess some laws changed and she found a legal loophole that states that I now have responsible for the child. So now I have to pay her monthly. It doesn't make any sense. I'm working on appealing it. So if anybody has any ideas or knows anybody who knows a good lawyer, send them my way because this is just unfair.
Okay. Wow, wrong button, oh man. What the, no, this is the button. What? Buttons, who's got the button? All right. So, I saw that, and I was like, there's no way, absolutely, positively, there's no way that that's real. It was just, that has to be a fake video. So I'll start researching and digging. This was the surface of the rabbit hole. And I searched and I researched, and sure enough, the original creator, the young lady that was on there, she does satirical videos, and she posts those type of videos to trigger interactions and to and to for engagement and so forth. So the original story is that it's all that's not real. The guy replying to it just added to the credibility, and a lot of people actually believed this, right? That this was a real thing, that this really happened, right? So I was like, okay. But the way my brain works, I'm like, okay, that was fake. That was fake. Okay, fine. That was fake. No problems. I can deal with the fake, whatever, right? But I was like, okay, let me get that off there. Okay. So, but then I was like, okay, that was fake, but there has to be, right? I don't believe there's like any original ideas. I don't believe there's like any new ideas. I don't think anyone comes up with any originalities anymore. Everything is like a remake. Everything is an adaptation of someone else's stories. So I was like, okay, so that's fake. But there has to be something that is similar to this that maybe this woman saw, gave her the idea. I don't know. But I was like, that's when I started doing the Google, right? I Googled and I researched and stuff, and I found a story. This story, I'm going to tell you, is something else. This guy here on your screen that you're seeing right here, his name is William Marotta. I believe I'm saying that right. Good morning, Nuclear Women. How you doing this morning? Nuclear Winter, Trippy Savage. How you guys doing in Expensive Games? So, this guy right here is named William Marotta. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. Who is William Marotta? Well, I'm fixing to tell you, because I'd never heard of this gentleman either. I'd never heard of this story until I was spurred down going down this little rabbit hole by that YouTube short we just watched. So, this story begins, we got to turn back some pages of time here, but this story starts in 2009 in Kansas, the state of Kansas. Okay. So Mr. Marotta was, I don't know if he was on his phone. I don't know if he was on his computer. I'm not for sure exactly what device or whatever he was on. But irrespective, he's on a device and he is perusing Craigslist. I know, right? So, he sees an advertisement on the Craigslist for I guess the best way I could describe this is like a help wanted ad. This help wanted ad was for this married couple, lesbian couple, that were wanting to have a child. And they were willing to go and pay up to $50 for some DNA. So Mr. Marotta thought, hey, what's the deal? So he contacts these two women, and they have conversations, and the decision is made that yes, they will in fact accept Mr. Marotta's DNA. Now, the two women, the couple, were trying to do this holistically. But what does that mean? Well, they were trying to have it as natural as possible without there actually being any type of actual intercourse. Okay. So they didn't involve a doctor. They didn't want a doctor involved. They did not involve lawyers. There was no contracts drawn up, or anything like that. They did have a agreement. It was a written agreement, and they may have possibly Googled this or something off of one of those legal web pages or something like that. And Mr. Murata here signed a document terminating all parental responsibilities. He was basically going to give them some genetic material, and that was the end of the transaction. They were going to give him $50, and that was it. It was a purely financial transaction. That's it. So in March of 2009, Mr. Murata here, they meet at a predestined place, gives them a couple of different samples of DNA. The women, the transaction is completed, and everybody goes their separate ways. The women go home, and it doesn't really say here, but I assume a turkey baster or something like that was probably invoked. Somehow the genetic material was delivered to one of the women to become impregnated. Now, here's what's really interesting about all this, right? So this was like purely on I know women and their cycles and they whatever, they have a window of time there. I think it's usually about 7 days or whatever, to where they are ovulating and they, whatever. But I guess they knew kind of when this window was, whatever. Anyway, so the DNA was delivered. Joys upon all joys, she becomes pregnant. All right. The woman gives birth to a daughter in December of 2009, right? So this was relatively just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Now, so fast forward about, let's see here, about 2013. It doesn't say, it just says about 4 years in this article that I'm reading here. This couple, the lesbian couple, get a divorce, separate. All right. So the parent that winds up with the child, who's 4 years old now, goes to the Department for Children and Families there in Kansas, the state of Kansas, to file for assistance, right? We need a little help. We need whatever is being, I don't know what all, food stamps or whatever it's called now. That, whatever assistance. They were going for assistance. Maybe there was some health care. I don't know what all. But this mother to this child from a Craigslist DNA donor is now seeking assistance. Well, Kansas, I guess, has a law that says you have to identify. Good morning, I have loved the stars too fondly. You've come in a really good time. So the state of Kansas, I guess, has a law on the books that says when you file for child support or for assistance with children, you have to identify the father of the child, right? The state that I live in here in Arkansas has the same type of law on the books, right? So if And I guess in this case, like if it was the father who had custody of the child, then the mother would have to pay. Whatever. The other biological parent of said child, they have to identify, and then what happens is they will go after that parent to recoup the monies, right? Especially if that parent is not paying child support in any way, right? If they're basically a deadbeat parent and they're not paying child support, they go after them and they'll garnish wages. I think it can even lead up into incarceration, right? If they're not paying, if they they won't, not whatever. So this lesbian mother identifies our Craigslist DNA donor. So then they come after Mr. Murata and said, hey, we need $4,000 in back pay, right, for this, because they have been receiving, assistance. We need $4,000 in the arrears, plus we're going to need this money going forward, right? Which could run into the, several tens of thousands of dollars here, right? We're talking about here. A lot of money. Because remember, the child's only 4 years old, so we're looking at least another 14 years of monthly payments, right, for this assistance. And Mr. Murata's like, hold it, flag on the play. Flag on the play. Listen, I answered a Craigslist, $50. I gave them some DNA in a jar. I signed some paperwork, said that I forfeited all rights, right? I may be biologically, I did give the DNA, but I didn't want a child. Nothing, right? Period. And the state of Kansas said, well, here's the problem. Because the original lesbian couple wanted to do this holistically, they never involved a doctor, right? So there was no proof of the artificial insemination, right? So to the state of Kansas, to their thinking, their logic is this guy had sexual intercourse with the lesbian, deposited said DNA, and so now he's now responsible for the byproduct of this liaison with the lesbian. But he's saying, no. I've got document right here. They said, does it matter? Because that document was not a legal document. It wasn't notarized. It wasn't entered into court of record, nothing. Pay us $4,000 in arrears of support, as well as you're going to pay all this money going forward. Well, Mr. Murata, he gets him an attorney. They go to court. Right? And the judge looks at the laws, listens to the story, and he sides with, in this case, the Department of Children, or whatever they're for the state of Kansas. And guess what? Mr. Murata is ordered to pay the $4,000 in arrears, and he was going to be assessed a monthly installment as well. Now, Mr. Murata was like, this is, bro screwed up now, he has a kid. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you answer a Craigslist for $50, just give me some DNA in a jar and, boom, bada bing, there you go. Instant family. A little turkey baster, maybe a little bit of, some sort of lubricant. You got a kid. Now, it doesn't end there, guys. It does not end there. Hang on a second here. I got to, where's the other one at? Yeah. So, I had to put this other thing up over here. So, Mr. Murata, not to be, he was like, I'm just not. I'm just not. So, he and his attorney appealed, and they appealed, and they appealed. And so finally, they got before, they finally got before, I guess, a higher court. I'm rereading the article. I thought it was like the Supreme Court for the state of Kansas, but it wasn't. It was just, but this was in 2012. So this had been going on for like 3 years or so, right? So anyway, they finally get before the judge, a different judge, appellate judge or whatever, and they present the case. And the judge come down and said, look, Mr. Murata is not liable for the support of this child. He said the married couple at the time, the lesbian couple, they're responsible for this child. Mr. Murata has had zero interactions with this child. This child does not know, there's no type of relationship between Mr. Murata and this child. And he said by burdening Mr. Murata with the financial responsibilities of this child also means that he gains rights as a parent, which means now he not only does he have a fiduciary responsibility, but he also has a moral obligation to be a, quote, father to this child, which he never wanted. This child does not know Mr. Murata. The child had never, ever been told of how they were conceived, right? And why would they? The child's like 4 years old or something, right? 5 years old. And turns out, you ready for this? It turns out that the women never actually even paid the $50, right? So he basically give the two women the DNA in a jar gratis, right? For free. There was no, he never actually, was compensated in any way. So, the judge also went on further to say that by introducing Mr. Garada in this child at this point in time's life, he believed would be undue mental anguish on this child, right? To introduce this other adult who has had no interactions with this child. He doesn't want interactions with this child, right? And so anyway, the good news is at the end of the day, Mr. Garada here, or Murata rather, Mr. Murata, was not ordered to pay, didn't have to pay. That's the good news, right? However, the problem also was, guess what? Let me see here. He had legal bills, lots of legal bills, right? Because this case went on for like, I think about, let's see, it started, hang on here. So get this. So the original DNA donation was in March of 2009. The child was born in December of 2009. In December 2010, the couple split. And then in October of 2012, the parent or the mother of the child that had custody of the child filed for assistance. So in 2012, is when it started the loss or the claim against the Mr. Murata, right? And this went on through 2016. So for 4 years. So the child, okay, so the child was 1 year old. That's 3 years old. So when it was all said and done, 2012 to 2016, that's 4 years. So the child was like 7 years old at this point. The child was 7 years old. This court case went on for 4 years. A lot of legal bills, right? So Mr. Murata filed a, let me pull this over here. He applied or started a GoFundMe, right? He tried to raise $10,000 to help pay his legal fees. He wound up raising a total of $3,500. You can see on the screen here. It is no longer up and going, right? But anyway, so anyway, I just, you know, this is one of those stories. Remember, we started this off because I seen a YouTube short of a woman doing a satirical little thing, right? And wound up about a Craigslist story of a guy donating some DNA to a lesbian couple because they were desperate to have a child, only to divorce a year later. And then because of the laws of the books, the state came after the DNA donor. I don't know. That's the internet, though, right? That is the internet. Oh my! Anyway, so there you go. That's the story. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is simple. If you see a Craigslist advertisement for $50, guys, and they want your DNA, don't do it. Just don't do it. The state would have had to reimburse his lawyer fees and pay the court fees. I would have thought that too. But because I was telling this story to my wife, and the wife and I were talking about this yesterday evening, and I was telling her about the story I was going to talk about today, whatever. And she's like, "Well, wouldn't the state had to reimburse?" I said, "You would have thought." My wife, yeah, you would have thought that would have been the case, but evidently it wasn't. The state was not required to reimburse the I guess the lawyer fees, and that's why he was seeking, the GoFundMe to help offset his lawyer costs. That I'm sure was in the several thousands. It's heinous. It's heinous. I looked at my wife and I was like, I said, you women are really kind of, because here's the thing too, right? I remember reading stories about and seeing news articles and stuff about how guys would go and hook up with, maybe it was their girlfriends or whatever. And they would have relations and they would practice safe intercourse, safe sex. And they would take the prophylactic and toss it into the garbage can. And then the women would go and retrieve it and retrieve the DNA sample within the prophylactic and use it to get to impregnate themselves and then go after these guys for child support. I remember reading news articles and stuff on that. And I was doing my wife and I was talking about all that. I said, man, you women can be really devious, can't you? My wife's like, yep, we really can. And I was like, dang. So exactly. The moral of the story is don't use Craigslist. Nothing. I'm kind of with you, Trippy. There are some wild stories that come out of Craigslist. I seen this advertisement on Craigslist. If someone ever tries to start telling you a story about, I seen this advertisement or I seen this ad on Craigslist, listen to it. because I guarantee you it is going to be a humdinger of a story. I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. The more I read into it, because when I started researching and looking into this, I was like, there's no way this is this. And it's like, can you imagine some dude is just sitting at home, right? He's scrolling through Craigslist and he sees this advertisement. Desperate couple need DNA sample, will pay $50. So the guy, self-stimulates. He brought him three jars, the article said, 3 jars of sample. And because he just wanted to help this lesbian couple have a child, and didn't even take the $50. I don't know. Wild and crazy times. Oh, me. All right. Wow. All right. So let's get on to some other nonsense. What do you say? Huh? So yesterday, I guess Mike Tyson and Jake Paul had they do their little meet, whatever, face-to-face type thing, whatever. The boxing match is supposed to happen. I think it's July the 20th. It's going to be on Netflix. But they had this meetup. But anyway, during the press conference, whatever else, let me make sure the audio is up. This happened.
Who would train me better, Jake or you, Mike?
Me, definitely me.
Older fighters have more heart and balls and weren't afraid, but I think the newer fighters have more skill and technique and are sharper. So that's why I'd be a better coach.
Yeah, tight shit. So you think he has bigger balls? Who do you think's got?
Oh, this kid. Excuse me. This little opie-looking dude here, Ginger, says tight shit. Where's his parents?
Got a higher body count. What's your body count, Jake? What's your body count?
No.
Where's this kid's mother?
Exactly, Mike. Where's this kid's mother?
Jake, you think yours is higher?
What kind of a dude? What is it? What is that kid? Maybe 12 years old. I just hope Mike and Jake haven't been answering any Craigslist advertisements. For crying out loud. All right, this next one. You remember I did a story back, I think it's last week, about Helldivers 2? And remember how they were going to, or they announced that they were going to require Steam users to tie their Steam to PSN, and they kind of slipped that announcement in the back door because when the game launched everything, there was they said it was going to be optional, but then they were going to make it mandatory, right? Because when they initially launched the game, it said optional. And so a bunch of people bought the game, whatever, and there were people from countries that bought the game, right, that PSN is not allowed into because of the regulations in that country, right? And there was a lot of outcry, right, from the gaming PC universe, right? They're saying, hey, this is foul. You can't do this. You're changing the terms of service. After the sale, we're just not. And so anyway, the devs of the company that Arrowhead that actually wrote the game, they were like saying, review bomb, just whatever. And so the game tanked, right? On Steam, it tanked. People were requesting refunds right and left, everything, right? Well, this guy here, Pirate Software. Now, this guy has an extensive, long history. He worked for Blizzard, of course, World of Warcraft, right? His father worked for him for decades before him, right? So this guy's generational game developer and stuff, right? He's second generation game developer, and he really has blown up here recently, over the last year or so, whatever. He's just got a wonderful voice. I listen to some of his videos and stuff because he's super knowledgeable about all the back end stuff when it comes to whatever. And anyway, so he had this to say about Sony and Helldivers and what's currently going on.
Sony did a fast one on all of you. See this right here? What does this say? We've heard your feedback to the Helldivers 2 account linking update, May 6 update, that would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th will not be moving forward. They're saying it will not move forward, right? So they're removing the PSN requirement. And everyone's like, wow, we got victory. Well, guess what they did at the same time that they announced they were going to do PSN? They blocked the game from being purchased in all the regions that don't have PSN. Guess what they haven't removed yet? And it's been 3 days. And no, that's not on Steam. Because as a Steam developer, I put in that request to Steam, and they change it next day. Automatons won, dude. You got tricked. You got tricked by Sony, and you changed your review back to positive.
So, do you guys think that Sony tricked and gave it just some lip service? Sounds like it. Because I got to thinking about what he was saying, right? If they truly were not going to move forward at a later date and time, kind of let everything kind of smooth over, right? Everything kind of calm down. And if they had still had no intentions, right? Zero intentions of not going ahead at a later date and time with the PSN linking, right? Then why did they quit selling it in those countries in those regions and stuff that disallowed PSN accounts? Because if they weren't going to require it, then they should have been able to still continue to sell in these different regions. And the people that had already bought it in those regions, right, would still be allowed to continue to play it. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you go, Wonder if he's on to something there. Wonder if he's on to something there. I think he is. I do believe he is. So, an update on the TikToker, Daniel Larson. Seems he will remain in jail throughout his case because he was threatening to do explodey stuff to the White House. The judge also said that Larson was advised to quit making those type of threats to the FBI, but ignored the request and continued to do so. So, it looks like to me, Mr. Larson is, I think he's probably going to be going behind bars. I think Mr. Larson is going to be doing some jail time there. I never really followed Mr. Larson or any of his content, anything like that, but I know there were people who did, who followed him religiously, and I know they was talking about, this was going to be the end of an era. Well, sometimes that's not a bad thing. So this is another thing I came up across. This says pound cake. So what's the deal? What's the story with pound cake? Right? I'm sure all of us at some point in our time, maybe we had a grandmother that you visited a grandma or something, and she would make a pound cake, or maybe your mom made a pound cake, or hell, you may have made a pound cake yourself. So what is the story? What is the history of a pound cake? Well, this guy here on the right is going to explain it to us about why pound cake is named such.
Did you know it's commonly thought that pound cake got its name because the original recipe required 1 pound of flour, 1 pound of butter, 1 pound of sugar? However, this is false. It's actually named after the place it was invented, Pound Town. You know, where your mom lives. Well, see you next time. Did you know it's...
What do you think, Trippy? You think that's an accurate statement? Do you think that's where pound cake got its name from, was Pound Town? Seems logical to me. Why not? Why not? All right. So this is a wild story. So you guys remember this dress, right? This is the dress that broke the internet. Was it white and gold, right? Or was it black and blue? Remember this story, right? So the man behind the viral dress that broke the internet admitted to violently strangling and endangering his wife. Yep. Kid you not, right? So Keir Johnson's crime explained. The dress that broke the internet, or hashtag the dress, was a viral debate that sent the internet into a frenzy back in 2015. The husband behind the dress was seen on talk shows around the U.S. at the time, but has been back in the news this week due to violent crime he committed years later. The debate about the dress started as a disagreement between Grace Johnson and her then fiance, Keir Johnston, as Grace sent a photo to her mother about the dress. Keir saw it as blue and black, and Claire saw it as white and gold. The debate quickly made its way online and became a viral sensation. In seemingly no time at all, the dress had been tweeted about 4.4 million times. A hugely successful BuzzFeed post had been written, and even celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Kanye West were debating the colors. The hype of the dress that broke the internet eventually died down like any other fad internet trend, and you probably didn't think of it again apart from when it resurfaced on your Facebook feed news from time to time. You know, the little look back thing or whatever. However, the dress has been popping back up recently for a more sinister reason. Keir Johnston, the husband behind the dress that broke the internet, admitted to endangering the life of his wife in court on May the 9th, 2024. The court in Glasgow, Scotland, heard the 38-year-old had strangled his wife in their home on March the 6th of 2022. Johnston turned on his wife, Grace, and threatened her, saying, "Someone is going to die." Johnston told his wife that she could not attend a job interview in mainland Scotland, and she had defied his demands. Whilst he was out drinking at a local pub, the two had been arguing over the text messages, and Johnston returned home and told his wife he was leaving her. The couple got into an altercation outside their home, where Johnston threw his wife into the ground. The court heard that he then began strangling her with both of his hands. She was initially able to scream and feared for her life and believes Johnston intended to kill her, as he was very forceful, right? Although she was able to escape this violent attack, it became clear during the course of the court hearing that she'd been living in fear of her husband. Mrs. Johnson described several instances where her husband had threatened her and dragged her out of a pub. There is also no permanent police presence in the island where they live, Collins say. And I probably butchered that. Mrs. Johnson also described an 11-year campaign of abuse from her husband, despite the fact the couple appeared on Ellen back in 2015, leaving their honeymoon early to be on the show. The Ellen show then gifted newlyweds a 5-star luxury holiday to the Caribbean and a $10,000 check. What will happen to the husband behind the dress? Although the man behind the dress has not yet been charged, he will be sentenced next month and was denied bail, meaning he will remain in custody until time. So, there you go. Started off the dress that broke the internet winds up with the husband behind bars. So, there you go. What is this? Here's some Discord news. How many of you guys use Discord? Well, I do. Matter of fact, I'm signed into it right now. And you too can join my Discord if you're so inclined. If you ever want to have a conversation or you would like to talk, whatever. Want to make sure you get a notification of any and all streams that I will be doing or videos that I upload. You can join it if you hit the exclamation mark right now in chat and put the word Discord behind it. It should prompt you with a link to said Discord. So remember, though, when you join, there is a little process that you have to go through. You will receive a notification. You have to basically do a verification. It's, click on the whatever crosswalks or this, that, whatever. It's one of those type things just to verify you're not a bot or something like that. And anyway, you get into the Discord, and that will assign you, once you do that, your verification process, you will be assigned and given a row to where you'll get to see all the channels. And if you don't, then you anyway. My feet hurt. I've become weak. Why does your feet hurt, Seth? And why have you become weak? Have you not ate any chicken today? I know you're traveling. Are you in the middle of traveling? Is that it? Are you still traveling on? So, anyway. It says Discord is allegedly using AI to determine the age and gender of some users, according to a number of people familiar with coding of the platform. X account Discord previews found hints of Discord using machine learning, an application of AI, to assign gender and age groups to users. To find out how you've been labeled, you can click on the, I'm afraid, yes, Amsterdam Airport about to board. Well, look, I hope you continue to have a safe trip, and I hope everything's cool. See right there, there's the thing. It says, want to talk to Riverter? Join the Discord right there in the link, right there in chat right now. So if you're not a member of Discord, you'd like to be a member of the Discord, click on it, and there you go. There's all kinds of stuff going on all the time in there. Boarding pass said, what's that say? Boarding pass said thing. I checked screen says another. I hate airport. I'm with you, Seth. Every time I've traveled, it never bodes well for me. In other news, gaming. This is some more gaming news. Squirrel with a Gun officially releases in the fall of 2024. Well, let's take a look at this little clip here.
In the heart of our bustling neighborhoods, a small but remarkable creature thrives. The common squirrel. With its agile movements and inquisitive nature, this ubiquitous rodent has made its home in the urban jungle. But you should always be cautious when interacting with squirrels, as they are known to carry diseases, and in some cases, large firearms.
What the?
The squirrel is known for its deadly aim and non-compliance with basic gun safety regulations. So it is advised to steer clear of an area with any reports of a squirrel with a gun. Selecting its weapons carefully, the squirrel adapts its strategy to the ever-changing environment.
I tell you what,
navigates its...
This looks like something Seth. This definitely looks like a game Seth would love to play.
Surroundings with unmatched agility. Join this journey into the hidden world of the common squirrel. Coming 2024.
There you go. Looks like you can be able to get it on what is it? Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and PlayStation 5. There you go. So there's a game for you. You guys can get and become a squirrel with a gun and create mayhem and havoc and who knows what else. Who knows what all else. And Shanri says, wants to know, ask Badwick if he would put this on a steak. It is Heinz pickle flavored ketchup. And McMuffin says, I saw them a few days ago, took a photo with Badwick in mind, and they forgot to post it, but evidently they don't, not only do they have pickle, but we've got chipotle and jalapeno. Jalapeno, that's how you say it, right? Jalapeno. And then Shawnee says, now he's going to try them. There you go. I don't think, yes, here we go. So Badwick does answer. He goes, yes, he would. And of course he would. And of course he would. Why wouldn't he? Because Badwick is a maniac. He's a maniac. He's a maniac. But there again, this is the same guy that put ketchup on steak, period. Anyway, whatever. So that's it. That's the show today. We'll end it on Badwick and ketchup. How better of a way to end a stream than Badwick's obsession with ketchup all over a perfectly good steak. There you go. Anyway, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Remember, if you're, for whatever reason, and you're scrolling Craigslist, do not answer a ad for offering you $50 for a DNA sample. Just don't do it, because they'll come at you a few years later and want you to pay for a child. So there you go. There's the story. Don't do it. Just do not do that. Anyway, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it today. It was all kind of just nonsensical, crazy stuff. Like I said, there is a lot of stuff going on out there in the community. A lot of stories. If you want to, there's lots of people covering it. Like I said, a really good one to go check out would be Now Recording. Like I said, they had a round table, for lack of a better word, I guess, a panel. Like I said, that had, of course, the Now Recording guys were on there. Mudahar came in, Brianna Wu, Keemstar, Mudahar, Nicholas DiOrio, and even, like I say, Reese, which I was very proud of Reese. I know that a lot of that stuff that had been going on over the last few days had really upset them, and I thought they did very well on that stream. I thought they had a very good accounting. They really stood up for not only themselves but others that have I guess they feel like they have been pushed aside. They've been very marginalized, even within the trans community. I thought that Reese gave a very good accounting of not only them but others that I'm sure have the same thoughts and opinions. So go check that out. It's they've got it time stamped and stuff, so you can the beginning of the show they were talking about some of the smaller commentary nonsense that's going on, and then they got into the whole CAFOs and stuff, and they had, like I say, how these people call in, and if you really want to be if you're really kind of interested in the whole CAFO story, the Now Recording show is definitely a good one to go listen to. Anyway, yes, Reese is a gem. I from the very first time that I ever had a conversation with Reese when he called in, I think it was like on a it was one of my morning streams, and He was very gracious and patient, I guess would be another word to use with me, because I had questions, and it's just still weird to me that, Reese is a cool dude, and I like him, and and everything. And like I say, he's in the trans community, but then he still goes and does drag and stuff. And so I'm just, that kind of messes with my head a little bit, trying to figure out that whole thing. But I've seen some of his acts and performance. He's posted them on Twitter and stuff, and he's very, very talented. He's extremely funny and entertaining. He's just a great guy, and I count myself fortunate to have got to have met him, and to get to know him a little bit better. And I hope to continue that journey and get to know him. I do know that if I ever make it across the pond and I get to go to Europe and whatever, I hope that I will be fortunate enough to actually meet up with Reese, maybe have a pint at one of the local pubs, and the cherry on top would be if he was performing somewhere, that I would actually get to catch one of his live performances. So yeah, 100% some claps, some 07s, and for Reese, because like I said, I thought Reese just did a phenomenal job on that call, and they should be very, very happy with themselves. I really do think they should. They handled themselves very, 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 very good. And I know last night K Huck was going over that stream, and I know Reese was part of the cast last night and going over that. I tried to listen to some of it. I was there for part of it, but I had a very rough day yesterday, and I hit the hay early. So anyway, but like I say, K Huck and her cast, the One-Eyed Wonder, Toxic, and I believe it was Squatchin', was on there as well, and then Reese, if memory serves me right, they did a really good job. They did a really good job of the section that I watched. I'll put it that way. They K Huck and them always do a good job. They have a lot of fun. And anyway, so that's another one to go check out as well. But anyway, I got to get out of here. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Remember, guys, what we always do around here. That's right. We keep our powder dry, and we look for me in the funny papers.